Welcome back. I'm very excited to get to introduce a fellow Albertaner. Maybe is that what they? It doesn't matter. Located in Calgary, Alberta, Gabe Mcclintock has been capturing truly awe-inspiring images of love for the past 15 years. His unique style combines photojournalism and portrait styles of photography to create a beautiful collection of wedding images. Today, he's going to talk to us about the importance of curation and how it directly affects every part of our business. His talk is entitled Curating Your Work. Gabe, the virtual floor is now yours.
Thank you. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's make sure we're... And I hope that's working. Okay.
It is working. You're good to go.
Beautiful. All right. Hey, everyone. It's weird staring at this green light on the top of the screen, but we're going to have at her. So anyway, thanks so much, Daniel, for reaching out and inviting me to be a part of this. It's an honor. It's an honor to share this platform with so many truly incredible artists whom I look up to, whom inspire me. I kind of feel like a geek at the cool kids table in high school. So again, thank you, Daniel, for saving me a seat here. Today I'm going to talk or touch briefly on how to effectively curate your work and why it can have such a dramatic impact on not only the type of clients you guys are booking, but how your book clients act during your portrait session. So let's just jump right in. So this idea of show what you want to shoot, it's such a simple idea. I think we've all heard it probably a million times in your wedding career. But I think it really needs to be driven home. I know, especially for me, I'm always have this going through my head. So it means basically that if you guys want to be shooting outdoor weddings, we need to be showcasing outdoor weddings. If you guys want to be shooting big ballroom weddings, you obviously need to be shooting big ballroom or showing big ballroom weddings. I know it sounds so simple to say, and you're probably sitting there, and you're like, well, no shit, that just makes sense. But I can almost guarantee that there's there's images in your portfolio or what you're sharing that isn't exactly what you want to be shooting, but we're showing it. We just need to remember that whatever it is you want to shoot, we need to be showing these types of images that align with where you want to shoot, the type of client. So again, you'll start attracting the type of clients you want to work with. I think one of the things we also need to remember is your ideal client needs to be able to put themselves or imagine themselves in your photographs. Okay, so when a bride or groom or a couple comes to your website, and if they can't envision themselves in your work, if she can't put herself in that photograph, she's just going to either click to the next photograph in hopes that she can, or she's going to click away and move on to the next photographer. Okay. You want your couples to connect and feel something when they look at your work. We want couples whose desire to create is in line with our desire to create, or whose sense of adventure matches our own sense of adventure. Okay. They're not thinking about what they wish they were doing. Instead, they're excited to see what you're doing. They are excited to collaborate with you on creating an amazing epic photo for their wedding. Okay. And when that works together, when you guys are working together with those same desires or the same thoughts about creation and creating work, that's when your work is genuine, that's when your work is real and honest. So this idea, so the images they're hiring you for today need to be the images you'll want to make tomorrow. Okay, this really was driven home to me years ago, long time ago, at the beginning of my career. I think a lot of us tend to at times chase fads, chase editing techniques or shooting techniques or lens, gear envy, right? We'll buy that new tilt shift because we saw someone else use tilt shift, or we'll buy the prism because we saw, someone else use a prism. But what became very clear to me is that my couples, if I'm sharing work today, I'm going to have to want to create that work next year, okay? Because our couples are hiring us on the images we're sharing now in the hopes that those are the same images they're going to get in 12 months. So if we're chasing fads, we're probably not going to want to be sharing or shooting the same stuff, okay? So I think over the years and meeting a ton of photographers, one thing that's become very evident to me is people's work is people who inspire us, I would say, those photographers who are speaking yesterday and the rest of today or this morning, if you know them, their work is a pretty accurate reflection of who they are as people. So I always use the example, Lanny and Erica of Two Man. Their work obviously conveys high energy, passion. And if you've ever met them, they're high energy and they're passion. Okay. Nirav Patel, one of the most incredible portrait artists out there. His work is very calm, quiet, and Nirav's very similar. Or Fair Haristi, my brother from a Mexican mother. His work is extremely unique, extremely creative. It's bold, and Fair, if you know him, is exactly that. Okay. So remember to be true to who you are, and your work will be an honest representation of yourself. And by doing that, you're going to start to attract the clients who get it, who connect with you, not only on a personal level, but on a creative level. So now, when you guys are curating your work, when you guys are choosing images that you want to share online, website, Facebook, social media, Instagram, okay, ask yourself these 3 questions. Would I like to shoot something like this again? Would being in a similar location inspire me or make me happy? And will this attract the type of client I want to work with again? Okay. So again, if you ask yourself these questions and the answer is no to any of them, then why do we share that particular image? Why would we want to shoot something again if you knew the first time it didn't inspire you? Okay. Why would you want to shoot in a location again if you know that while you're shooting it, you didn't enjoy shooting there? Or why share an image that doesn't attract the type of client you want to work with? Okay. Again, we need to be putting work where clients can put themselves in those images. Okay. I feel like I'm going to rip through this, so we might have a lot of time for Q&A. Okay, so let's first look at how we curate our website. So what happens? What happens if only half of your images that you're showing in your portfolio are a true and accurate representation of who you are as a photographer? Okay. If you have, say, 50 images on your site and 25 of them are you, and the other 25 are bride and groom riding the back of a swan, or groom riding his bride on a bearskin rug, what's going to happen is you're going to start to attract, obviously, clients of the 25 or the 50% that are you and a representation of who you are, but you're also going to attract clients that want swan photos or holding miniature brides. Okay. So I always ask you guys, or I always ask about during portfolio reviews or workshops, is what is it that you want to see on your website? Okay. What is it that you want to attract in your couples? So I challenge you guys today, tomorrow, next week, in 2 weeks, whenever, I just challenge you guys to go through your website and scroll through each gallery. And you need to do this quickly. So I always say, don't take a lot of time on each of the images because it needs to be fast. We, as photographers, will scroll through an image and we'll look at it on emotion, but we quickly go to the technical side of it. So we'll look at it as, what preset did they use? Or what lens did they shoot with? What gear is it? Did they add grain? All these different things. And we need to understand that a lot of the times our couples book us on emotion. They book wedding photographers on, obviously, the connection they have with the photographer, but on their work and what it makes them feel. Okay. So as you scroll through, just go through and use and highlight things that give you an immediate feeling. Okay, so it can be any feeling. It could be happy, sadness, anger, joy, whatever it is, as long as it gives you a feeling, that's the type of images that you want to start sharing. Okay, and again, it has to be quick. We can't look at it too long. Okay, so years ago, I remember hearing Dan O'Day speak at a conference, and one of the things he said was, the best way to look at your work on your website is there an image that if a potential client was surfing the web and going through your website and their internet froze and one image was stuck on the screen, and that one image needed to represent everything about you as a photographer, what you like to shoot, the type of light, the type of look, everything, who you are as an artist. Is there an image on there that wouldn't represent you? Or is every photo is like, yeah, I'm confident that's who I am. If there's one that doesn't represent you, if there's an image on there that is like a, whoa, don't look at that, or I've heard it in portfolio reviews, I should have got rid of that, I've been meaning to get around to that, take those images out, okay? If it's not who you are and who you want to attract, and it doesn't represent you as a photographer, start to remove those down. 25 amazing images that are genuinely you are better than 50 images that are half you, okay? Okay, so in addition to websites, another incredible platform we have which is just as important as our blog, okay? And one of the things I see over and over again is the amount of images some photographers are blogging, okay? For me, I feel that if you are blogging 100 photos and say 30 of those images are unbelievable, they're incredible images, and there's 70 other images, those incredible images will get diluted in the quantity of the others. I hope that makes sense. They get lost in everything, okay? So your couple has to kind of scroll through, and some will jump out, but some won't. So for me, I've always gone the route of quantity doesn't equal quality. Okay, so some of these numbers here, I'm sure, I don't know if you've read them, but Chichi and Harsh, almost 8,000 photos I've shot. I blogged 27. 6,700 blog 23, 6,200 blog 24, 1,500 blog 7. So for me, I'm really focusing on the images that are the banger photos, the best of the best of the best. Okay. Just because we shoot a ton doesn't mean we need to share a ton. I think that's, just because we shoot a wedding doesn't also mean we need to blog it. That's something also I learned early in my career was, you don't need to blog every single wedding. Every single wedding isn't your ideal wedding. And I think that's totally fine. I still have weddings that I shoot that I don't blog, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You deliver those photos, you do the best you can, or you create amazing work and your couples are happy. It doesn't mean we need to blog it, okay? So one of the things that the byproduct of all this curation and really shooting, creating work that is genuinely you and the consistency, one of the things, probably the most important thing that builds is trust, okay? Our clients having a firm belief in our abilities, okay? We have to understand that real connections come from a sense of comfort, which is directly related to trust, okay? And trust comes from a sense of familiarity, and familiarity is a result of consistency. So if you think about that, think about who you guys are most comfortable with. Who do you guys trust the most? My guess is everyone's answer is going to be, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, your parents, siblings, your best friends. And the reason why is that those people, why you feel most comfortable with those people is they are the people you trust the most. Your trust in them, we know, allows you guys to be yourselves, your honest and real self when around them, okay? And that's what we want in our couples. We want our couples to kind of let their guard down and just be themselves, okay? And that comes from trust. So because of this, because of a strong curation of your work and a sense of consistency is what your couples see, they will now have a pretty good indication of what it is you do and what it is you're after in your work. So for me, when that incredible storm clouds roll in and the sky goes black and the wind picks up and, everything kind of turns to chaos. For me, I want my couples to have such a high level of trust in me that they won't run. They won't ask to go in. They won't say, hey, let's postpone this. They're excited because I'm excited to create. Okay. I've created work or curated my work to show how incredible these environments can be and how beauty can come from such chaos. Okay. So now they start to hold each other a little tighter. They touch each other with a little more passion, and they genuinely connect with each other because they know and trust what I do. Okay. So another benefit to strong curation is so there's the trust part, there's getting the right clients, but now you've booked a client, and because you've curated your work, it's now going to affect how your couples act with each other. Okay. So if your couples see high energy, laughing, piggyback rides, running, jumping in your work, they're going to act this way or some way like that during your portrait time with them. And on the flip side of that, the other side of the scale is if they see connection and quietness and calmness in their work, they will come to your session with their energy and expectations in line with that. Okay, so just like mirroring, couples will tend to mirror what they're seeing in your work. Okay, now it's not always 100%, it's not always perfect, but curating your work in a way that reflects what it is you like to capture definitely influences your couple's behavior, either consciously or subconsciously during your shoot. So remember, when you curate your work effectively, you guys are not only going to start to attract the type of clients that you want to book with and you want to work with, but it's also going to help build that trust we need from our clients so that they give you those freedoms to create the work you want to create. And it's also going to have a direct influence on your couple's behavior during the shoot, during the portrait time and wedding day, or your connection session or adventure session or whatever you call it. Okay. So I think that's it. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. Thank you again, Daniel and Image Salon, for allowing me to be a part of this. I hope you guys are all staying safe. I hope you guys are all healthy. And I wish you all the very best. Take care.
Gabe, that's awesome. And I'm glad that we got an extra couple of minutes for Q&A because we have some questions.
Okay. Should I stop screen sharing or what should I do here?
Yeah. Stop screen sharing.
Stop. All right, hold on.
So first question.
Okay.
Outside of curation, how else are you building that trust with clients?
For me, honestly, it is probably the number one thing for me to build trust. I don't do mailers. I don't do they're not subscribing to anything. I think I've really focused on a very specific look in my work, and curate to a very consistent style that now when my couples see or they book me, they really have a perfect understanding of what it is that I do. So now they're just kind of booking me on that idea of just, Gabe, you do what you do and we're just going to get married. So to me, it is, I don't get the Pinterest boards. I feel like if you're getting Pinterest boards as a photographer, they're not 100% sure what you do or what you offer. So to me, there's a missing link in the work that's not promoting trust, or maybe a lack of consistency.
I really like that point. Next question. What are the reasons that you choose not to blog certain weddings over others? What's the criteria?
I'd say, what's the criteria? If I've shot in a location similar, and again, I maybe don't want to shoot there again, okay, I might not blog it. I do shoot some local weddings here. I'm probably going to start shooting more local weddings due to everything. But those weddings I won't share. I still get, I'll never tell everyone that 100% of my couples or 100% of my weddings are these epic mountain, crazy storm cloud weddings. I still shoot ballroom weddings. I will probably never blog those weddings. And those are ones that I won't blog. I tend to blog like the outdoor, smaller, intimate, good light, good location, that type of thing.
Yeah. This question's interesting, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Is there such a thing as too much curation? If your website is just epic mountain side photos, don't clients wonder, hey, do you shoot other parts of the day too? Just seems
Yep.
like a roadblock in initial inquiries / browsing someone's website.
Yeah, you know what, for sure. But having for me, so I have a background in photojournalism. So I was trained in photojournalism in college. That's my background, and I really in the last few years have moved towards really portraits. I want to get known to. I want to get hired for portrait time. I feel like all of my clients understand that what I do and what I really concentrate on. But that's not saying I don't know how to shoot everything else. So I do, out of every 20 inquiries, I might get one that says, hey, can you send us a full gallery to some photos or a full wedding? And then they can see that I shoot everything else. I just don't, for me, I really want couples to give me, 2-3 hours on the wedding day or book me for a connection session somewhere where it's really just about, going out, exploring, shooting in incredible light and incredible locations. So that's, for me, yeah, you can definitely pigeonhole yourself into this, but this is like a personal choice that I kind of made where I was like, I really enjoy this part of the day more so than anything. So now I'm just going to focus on that and get hired for that.
Yes. How much location scouting time do you do beforehand?
0. So I don't ever scout locations. I find if I scout locations, I become almost like a horse with blinders because I've pinpointed certain spots already. And as we know, when the expectation is the light's good here on Friday, and then we go back on Saturday to the same spot, and maybe they brought in construction vehicles that day, or the light's not as good as it was the day before. To me, personally, it just throws me off. So if I go in kind of akin to candy store and everything's new, I tend to be more open to, it opens up more of the creative process in me if I'm not predetermined places or spots.
Nice. And I got enough time to slip in one more question, so I'm going to do it. I recently looked through an old collection of images, and some moments I had discounted years ago suddenly seem so important. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I've recently looked through.
Yeah, so like, I find this sometimes too. It's like in the moment with the work, it's like these images get discounted, and then when you're coming back through them, they suddenly like pop out more. There's something about them, or they seem more important, or maybe they're like more in line with like the direction you've moved to as a photographer.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think a lot of, I think growth is a good thing. I don't think, to me, so I love the connection. I love the light. Some of my favorite photos are disconnected photos where, he's kind of walking this way and he, she's kind of turned her head this way. I don't think, is there a question there? Like, do I?
Yeah, I guess just like rambling thoughts.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a question.
I don't, there's incredible moments. I don't discount any moment while I'm shooting. That's the thing. I don't go into a wedding where, 90% of the day I'm like, oh, whatever, this isn't what I got hired for. And then I'll really put 10% or 100% of my effort into 10% of the day. I put 100% of my effort into 100% of the day. So I'm never not shooting something because I don't think it's important. I understand, the PJ side of photography. Again, that's what I was trained in, but I just tend to focus on, when I share and I curate my work, it's the portrait side of my work.
And I think that's actually the answer there. I think like as emerging like wedding photographers, like we tend to shoot like what's expected of us, and then like going back, you're like, oh, like these are the actual moments that matter, and like these are the moments that I want to be capturing moving forward.
Yes. Yeah, I think we can shoot a wedding day as a whole. I do all the jumping photos, the family photos, the groomsmen humping the groom's leg during portrait time, like all that stuff I have. It's just I don't showcase it. I think that's where the curation part is. You shoot it all and you shoot it as you need to and you shoot it amazingly. You just need to now focus on what part of the day you want to be known for and what part of the day you want to kind of be the, known for shooting and get hired to shoot.
Yeah, thank you.
If it's portrait, it's portrait. So.
No, that's awesome. And I think that really like summarizes your entire talk. Yeah, so thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope you enjoy the Banff mountainside for me.
I will.
Cool. Take it easy.
Albertans.
Talk to you soon.
Later.
We're coming up like the midday point. We're just rolling right along. So we're going to take another break and then come back with our next speaker, Brandon Wong.